Ooh, now this one, I probably don't do one of these without something from Ryan Holiday. Ryan Holiday here. He's the guy behind the Daily Stoic. And I recently, it wasn't one of his books, but it was another interpretation of Marcus Aurelius's meditations, his journal entries. And boy, was it good! The way it was put together, like conversationally. Ryan Holiday stuff is very good too. But this post, man, this post, I'm going to do a whole podcast with someone on these points because this thing is super good. And thank you for sending this. I would have missed it, but damn, this thing was good. This is just a couple days ago. So questions to ask yourself every day. Does anger make, and man, I wrote these down. Does anger make this better? Mm. Run it whenever you find yourself, and I do often, you're dealing with someone and they're making you mad or they're insulting you or you're feeling insulted or whatever. This is the first filter you should probably hit. Does me being mad make this better? There are cases where it does, right? There are times where, yeah, this guy's trying to, or this person's trying to push me around. This person's trying to get something out of me. Get out of my face, like that. Yeah, use it. But then there are other times where it's like, yeah, I'm just kind of overreacting, and I don't think it's good. Why do I care what they think? The little Marcus Aurelius quote, and it's really cool because I just read. He has a whole section on this in the book I just read. But tranquility comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do. I think it's a paraphrase maybe, but it's like only care what you do. Um, Man, that's strong. Why do I care what they think? Why do I care what they think? I'm going to try this idea. I'm going to do this episode of this podcast. And why do I care? Why do I really care what you think? I think this is good information, so I'm going to put it out into the world. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Um, if you're trying something new, why do you care what other people's opinions are? If there's a person in your life that you do care what they think, then you need to. That's one of the we were talking earlier, or at another point about like you know limiting the people in your circle, like those best friends, like how they're probably smaller as you age or as you progress through your life or whatever. If they're those people, then yeah, you know who those people are. But generally speaking, the public, why do you care? Um, do what's right. You know what's right. What if I said no? We're tight fisted with property and money, yet think too little of wasting time. The one thing about which we should all be the toughest misers. That's from Seneca. It's really the only thing we have is time. Like that's it. Like when everything, and I've witnessed this, when everything is done, when you are there at the end, and the thing that you have, when you start out you have the most of, at the end you have the least of. When you're there and it's the last minutes of your consciousness, when you are interacting with other people, that is the most important thing. So the whole memento mori, and thinking about that, and like the way you treat that time should honestly be the way you treat all of your time. And I know that's a tall order, and I waste time too. um but man, I try to control it. I really do. I really try to control it, and I try to get as much out of every day as I can. And I lead some really long days. I'm up at 4 a.m., coach, teach in the morning, go to work all day, then go back and do it again in the evening, teach and coach again in the evening because I love it, and make these podcasts. And focus on work and try to communicate well. It's there's a lot of things that happen in your day, and this idea of what if I say no? What if I don't do something? Use that. Um, use that as a tool. Yeah, that's good. Is this necessary? What m- most of what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility. Let that sink in. Is this necessary? Now, there was another thing I've found before about like when you should tell someone something. So it's like three things. It's like, should this be said? Should this be said now? And should this be said now by me? And those are three like filters for when you give advice, or when you're not, not just random whatever, but whenever you're interacting with someone and you're helping them or doing something or whatever. And I use that a lot too, and I let a lot of things go that I now that I probably wouldn't have, um 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or whatever. um and I think I have a lot more peace in my life because of that, because I'm less willing to fight. And sometimes your fighting is just, it's just noise. It's just whatever it is. It's just your ego or your whatever getting in the way of you um, living peace, tranquility, like Marcus Aurelius has here. So, is this necessary? Is me doing this thing or saying this thing or in taking this thing, is it necessary? If it's not, then you know, edit it. Sort of that minimal mentality. How can I be stronger for this? No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself.